Welcome back. After a horrific rape in downtown Madison this month, Fox News ran a headline tying the incident to a defunded, quote-unquote, police department. I sat down with Madison Police Chief Shon to put it all in perspective.
Chief, always good to have you on the show. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Naomi.
I want to start with pretty dark news.
Sure.
You know, it's been top of the headlines in the last couple of weeks. A really, really awful rape happening downtown of a UW student. You know, I guess let's just start if you have any updates on that case or her condition before I have a couple questions for you after that.
Sure. I think the latest update is that we were able to secure a $1 million bond, which will keep a very, very dangerous person where he belongs, which is incarcerated. I think that additional piece of evidence came in after my press conference was that a DNA sample taken from our victim matches the suspect. So we feel very good about this case. And I think that our officers, detectives, and investigators did an excellent job working in collaboration with our community. We could not have done this without the community, without the city, without public space cameras, without a lot of diligent work being done to bring this person to justice. And I certainly hope he gets the justice that he deserves.
Now, this case has made national news just because of how awful it was. I still want to read you a headline that Fox News ran where they blame it on defunded police. So, quote, defunded Wisconsin police to increase patrols after young woman brutalized in college football town attack. Would you blame this kind of attack on, quote unquote, defunding Madison police?
I would not. I think that headline is certainly disrespectful to our survivor in this case. The only person, the only thing that is responsible for this horrific crime is Mr. Thompson. He did this, and he should be held accountable. As far as defund the police, I don't know what their definition of defund the police, but during my administration, in just 2.5 short years, we've added 14 police officers. We've added 3 non-commissioned essential employees, including our first non-commissioned assistant chief, Director Hunt, who's over our technology, reform, and innovation department. We've added a community engagement specialist that's helped us connect with some of our most vulnerable communities, and we've done an excellent job. We've added someone to work in our records section to help us process our records requests. So if their definition of defunding the police is adding police officers, then maybe that defund definition fits, but I don't think it fits here in Madison.
Broadly speaking, that rhetoric is often linked, right? Obviously, the 2020 protest, where that was a bit of a rallying cry, has led in the last 3 years to that conversation being used in tandem with rising crime. And I don't think we can call, as horrific as this case was, I don't think it represents rising crime in Madison. Generally speaking, do you think it's right to tie those two things together?
I don't think it's right to tie those two things together unless there's some type of causal relationship. I have seen in some cities where people rushed to judgment and they significantly reduced the number of police, and certainly that has an effect on crime, but we have not seen that here in Madison. I think the rallying cry for defund the police was, can we just invest in the communities like you said you were going to do? I think that the protest that we saw after the murder of George Floyd was really in reaction to government and not just police. Police are the most visible form of government. We know that. But when someone walks past you in the street, you're going to get coffee, you don't know the person who said no to that pothole being fixed. You don't know the person who said no to your schools not being fully funded. But when we walk by, you see the uniform, you know what we're responsible for, and that became the rallying cry in 2020. But for people like myself, who were very close to people who were protesting, people like myself who was really asking the question, how did this happen? How do we prevent this from happening? It is very fair to say that de-investment in certain communities may have led to this disparate outcome, and I don't think that that was unreasonable. But we have not seen that here in Madison. I think under my administration, we have certainly added to the police department, but in specific ways. We don't just add officers to add officers. We add officers where they're going to best serve and connect with our community. It keeps the job safe, and it makes it easier for our police to do the job that they need to do.
We are not done yet with Chief Barnes. Just after the break, I am putting him on the spot about his recent bid to lead the Chicago Police Department. Whether he plans to stay in Madison, that's next.
You've got this. You didn't think your sister would take you up on the dog sitting offer, but here you are. Barriers purchased. Doggy distractions, no expense spared. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with $50 overdraft grace zone. So when you have to make a purchase, or 7, to prepare, you can be sure we're looking out for you, so you can look out for him. You've got this with Associated Bank.
What about this one? Wire brush finish.
I love this style, and the price is amazing.
It's got 2 removable leaves.
And the bench has storage. Honey, do you like this table?
It's yours if you like it.
She's thinking.
Sure.
Oh my Bob, she loves it!
She loves us.
Probably.
When you don't have to compromise on style, quality, or price, there's only one thing to say. Oh my Bob!
Bob's Discount Furniture.
Special report.
Spectrum brings us Spectrum One, where Spectrum Internet, advanced Wi-Fi, and unlimited mobile come together to keep you seamlessly connected wherever you are!
Switch to Spectrum One and get 300 megabit internet for $49.99 a month, plus free advanced Wi-Fi and 1 free line of unlimited mobile with no contract. Call 1-833-743-4999.
The Coopers here just got Spectrum One. Why did you switch?
With Spectrum One, we get a super fast, reliable connection. Look, with Spectrum Internet, I can stream Spectrum News across all our devices.
And the advanced Wi-Fi has enhanced security and privacy features that automatically block online threats, keeping our family and devices safe and secure.
How reliable is Spectrum Mobile?
It's a super reliable service coast to coast.
And it includes nationwide 5G.
Switch to Spectrum One and get 300 megabit internet for $49.99 a month, plus free advanced Wi-Fi and 1 free line of unlimited mobile with the fastest wireless speeds. Call 1-833-743-4999 or visit a Spectrum store today.
Welcome back. We are continuing our conversation with Madison Police Chief Shon Barnes. He was recently named one of 3 finalists for the Chicago Police Superintendent position. He ultimately lost that role to an internal candidate. I'm asking him now, what's next?
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you for a different set of headlines that regarding yourself. You were recently a finalist for the Chicago Superintendent, the very top police position in Chicago. I guess first your reaction on not being selected for the superintendent.
Yeah, everything happens for a reason. I'm certainly honored to be considered a top finalist. There were, I was told, about 58 applicants, and being named one of the top 3 in the country is certainly an honor. Had an opportunity to share my thoughts on policing, which I can do any day of the week, as you know, and the mayor really liked the things that I had to say. He liked my plan, but in the end, he wanted a police chief that was a better fit for his agency, given being a new administration. So he chose an internal candidate, and I think he's going to do an excellent job, and I'm honored to have been considered.
What would you tell now the city that you still lead in terms of your future here?
Yeah, I would tell them, look at what I did during the process. Until the story broke that I was a semi-finalist, no one knew I was in the process. That's because I come to work every day. My approach is the same. I just learned from great leaders that say you have to do that extra 10% absolutely every single day to make yourself one of the top elite leaders, the top elite teams, players, what have you. And I have done that. And so there were people who were surprised and shocked because they didn't see any difference in the way I behave, the way I perform, and that's what you're going to continue to see. We have a great system here in Madison. We've implemented stratified policing. Our commanding officers and officers are doing an excellent job implementing that. Our 5-year strategic plan is up and running. We're still getting grants and opportunities because of the things that we're able to articulate and how we are policing. And so that approach will not change. I feel really good about where we are right now as far as crime and the things that we're doing, and things will only get better here in Madison. So I'm very proud to be here.
Was that a one-off application, or are you continuing to search for other opportunities?
Well, the only other opportunity that I told someone that I would be interested in is like the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. They have one already, so I won't be going to Green Bay. So
The Jets
the Jets might, You know, I love, I watch Hard Knocks, so I was pulling for him, but you may be right. Until that time comes.
You've got the build.
I appreciate that. Until that time comes, I'm going to be right here in Madison doing great work. This is a great community. They have welcomed me into this community, welcomed my family, and I certainly appreciate that.
Chief, always good to talk to you. Thanks so much for sitting down and talking about this.
Absolutely. Thank you, Naomi.